Hello guys and welcome back to another Cozzys Customs. Today we got here the Battle Damage T800 from the first Terminator movie. This is from Hot Toys. I don't want to sound biased because I love the majority of my custom stuff, but this is most likely my favorite custom I've ever done so far. I've done a fair bit of work, so this is probably going to be a long video of me explaining what I did. And I've also got all the other Hot Toy Terminator 1 figures. So this version, the Cop Shootout, and the Technor version. So later on in the video I'll do a comparison next to this one. But this, out of all the other figures, this one was the most that I customized. You know, with the blood effects and, you know, the whole body and the weathering. So that's why I want to do a video on this one on its own. And later on, like I said before, we'll compare them all together. But this is just fantastic, you know. This is, like I said, it's one of my favorite customs. And it's by far the most fun I've ever had on a custom piece. Just the amount of detailing I had to do, and, you know, I had a plethora of reference material to go by to make this as perfect as I could do. Later on with this particular jacket, I will talk about an issue. It's, in my opinion, it's an ongoing issue with Hot Toys because they still do this today regarding the jacket and the pleather material. I'll get into that a bit later when I get closer up and talk about the actual tailoring and clothing of this figure. But on face value, this looks great, you know, and going by the source material, I wanted this to be very, very dirty and, you know, everything torn up, like the last scene of the movie just before he gets burnt up by the truck. But later on, I'll get into all that and all the reference materials. So I think I'll wait for him to spin around one more time. And we'll get up and close to the actual head sculpt. Okay, so here's the head right up close and personal. I just want to say right now, if I could do a top 10 on Hot Toys best head sculpts, this would definitely be up there. This is just 100% young Arnie from the first movie. And the prosthetic work with the robot eye and the jawline there and the head, it's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. The detailing, the blood, you know, it's something that Hot Toys don't even do that much anymore, like bloody effects. Like, I think the most recent figure that had blood effects like this was maybe the Endgame Tony Stark. Their Battle Damage version. But even in comparison to this, that blood damage is still very, very minimum compared to this. But if I had one negative or one little gripe about this head sculpt, it's the actual flesh color. You know, I'm a massive Terminator fan. You know, James Cameron's one of my favorite directors, and Stan Winston is also, I also love his work of prosthetic and makeup. And if you look at the reference pictures from this first movie, especially this scene that I'm going by and what Hot Toys were going by, Arnie's flesh is pretty much decayed and rotted and is extremely pale. The scene that stands out the most is the scene where Arnie takes a truck and, you know, the famous Get Out line. is said by him. And there's a really good close-ups of the face, and you just see his whole skin texture is just completely rotting as the minutes go by. But, you know, that aside, this is still, in my opinion, a 10 out of 10. You know, if I wanted to get this repainted, I might even do it myself, or I might get it professionally done. But then at the same time, that might devalue the piece. And I'm pretty much fine as is like this. You know, I'm not that fussed. You know, I just love the effect that they've done here. Let me maybe go a touch more. Let me zoom into that eye there. And yeah, as I'm here, I actually have another kind of negative to say. The eye is not permanently red. So in order to have his eye red, you have to throw the batteries in and permanently keep the eye switched on, which I would have preferred. I think Hot Toys are doing it recently now with a lot of their other figures that have lighted up eyes. The actual plastic is the color of the specific light. So for example, this should have been a red plastic instead of a clear like it is here. So regardless if the light switch is turned on or off, his eye still illuminates the red. I think Hot Toys should have done that. And you know, I just love the pose that I've thrown him in as well. This is right, my reference from this is like right when he's gotten ran over and he walks to the truck just to open the door. And you see him limping like this to the truck door to throw the driver out. But just look at all the dirt that's on his face as well. Like, you gotta remember, a whole truck ran over him. So he's just full of debris all over him. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna throw this figure on a turntable, and I'm gonna explain what I did with the tailoring, specifically the jacket, and then, you know, work my way down from there. Okay, so here's the jacket of the figure, and as you can see, I've absolutely destroyed it. You know, which is from the source material of this part of the movie. This is the original Hot Toys jacket, but like I said before, mentioning at the start with the pleather material, the pleather completely rotted and peeled off, and that is an ongoing issue, even with today's releases of Hot Toys. So basically, for people that don't know how they make pleather, they make a fabric jacket like this, or whatever fabric costume, and then they spray an adhesive glue that has the pleather on top of this fabric. Now, the thing I have with pleather material is it's obviously not lasting well. So you're going to get stuff like this as the years go by. They're just going to rot, and that's exactly what happened to this figure. It just started to peel. But on a positive, I used it to its benefit and decided to completely peel all the pleather off, and this is what is under the pleather. So, like I said, I used it to my benefit, and now it looks completely wrecked and battle damaged, like the movie, basically. But at the same time, I still don't think that's an excuse I can make for the crappy materials that are released at times. And it's not just a Hot Toys thing, it's a 1/6 scale problem, I would say. Any any time 1/6 scale company makes a leather-like material, it's usually pleather like this. So for people that are buying pleather materials on their figures, just, you know, be extremely wary that this will happen. And that, I think that's the problem. It's just a waiting game. But as you can see, I've completely battle damaged it. You know, I've put weathering of greys, whites, browns, even red for the blood. You know, just what would happen if someone would get ran over like he did. You know, there'll be blood everywhere, grime completely everywhere on the body, and pleather, or actually leather material, will just completely tear. And what I'll do is, I'll just wait for this to turn around and I'll stop it at the right time when he's facing at the front like this. Now, basically this body that I'm using for all the Hot Toy Terminator figures are not the stock bodies. They're the World Box bodybuilder bodies types. I'll throw up the exact model number of what this one is, because this is the largest of them all. And I think the main reason I did that was because the rubber material. I'm not the biggest fan of rubber, because like pleather, as the years go by, especially the rubber that is made for small figures like this, it's just gonna melt, rot, tear. So I completely, you know, changed it, switched the body for this, a much bigger, accurate body as well. I think that was also a problem with the Hot Toy Terminator bodies. They were way too small, especially for the first movie, because Arnie was huge. And also what I did, let me turn this a touch. And let me throw a bit of a light closer. With the bullet holes there, I've actually drilled a real bullet hole, so it looks, you know, lifelike, accurate. And obviously I've put blood on the actual body underneath. You can see blood there as well. Maybe let me get a bit closer in it so you can see. There you go. So yeah, I've drilled a hole in the chest, and you can see blood detailing there. And I also think it's a good time to add here that the hand, well, the arm, the whole arm here is from the original Hot Toys body. So I popped that off and popped it on this new body. So the hand there that is exposed with the metal endoskeleton is from the original Hot Toys. So up until the elbow joint is the Hot Toys version. So, you know, I just want to tell people that, so if you do want to customize it, just know, you know, don't like accidentally throw out this arm, because you're going to have to need it. Especially if you want this as accurate as possible. And because it's just a pop out joint and not a double jointed, it's easier to do with this. Okay, so here's the lower part of the body. I want to say that, well, I also want to add that these pants are not the Hot Toys pants. These are just regular cargo pants that I found on eBay. You know, it's not that hard to find, just 1/6 scale cargo pants. And you should find a fair bit of them online. Also, the tire behind him is, again, not part of the figure. It's just a regular 1/6 scale tire, and I cut in half just to represent the truck that ran him over. And what I wanted to do is, I'm going to throw some reference pictures as well, because Hot Toys missed the tear in the pants here with the bullet hole and blood detailing. There's a really good shot where he smashes through the motel and shoots up the whole motel, and obviously Kyle and Sarah Connor ran out, and you can clearly see there is a tear in the leg, and for some reason Hot Toys missed it. But you know, I did it now and it looks fine. Okay, so I've put him on a turntable now, and we're gonna take a look at the lower part of the legs and the boots. I'll just quickly talk about the pants. So it's fairly easy. I just tucked this side of the pants, as you can see here, on the right side of his leg into the boot, and this one right here, which is the left side, our left, is completely torn and shattered like the movie. What I also find is interesting is a lot of people think the leg that is limping actually has exposed endoskeleton foot. I've tried so hard to look through the source material. It's just that it's so dark at that specific shot. I've never really been able to confirm whether the endoskeleton leg is visible or not. So that's probably the only part that I'm stuck on the actual 100% accuracy. And I'll show a footage of that. Okay, here are some comparisons. For better context, these are both the same figures technically. This version of the battle damaged Terminator came with 2 head sculpts to play around with. So instead of boxing one up, I decided to use both head sculpts on 2 separate bodies and use it to represent 2 separate looks in the movie. So as you can see here on the left is the police shootout version. Still technically battle damaged, but this is much more cleaner to the one on the right. You know, this is when he storms the police station and just starts, you know, terminating everyone. And if I zoom in just a touch, you can see I've done the exact same thing with this body with the bullet holes. So that's actually a real hole that I've drilled in the body. And they're both the World Box bodies. Then none of these figures have the stock Hot Toys bodies. And also, really quickly, I would say, you can tell, you can visually see a difference with the leather materials. And that's because this leather jacket here is actually real leather. It's from the DX10, which is the Terminator 2 figures. And for some weird reason, Hot Toys used real leather material for this. And it makes me wonder because why they take the easy way out to do something like this that would rot compared to this that would last like real leather. And yeah, I just keep questioning myself why they will take the easy way out when clearly they can do leather material in 1/6 scale. So I still don't understand why they don't. But either way, this is an amazing figure that I've done. And this one on the left here isn't hugely customized. It is slightly, it's just a body swap. Yeah, it's just pretty much a body swap and a swap of the actual leather, because that was the leather here. This jacket is the original Hot Toys version that comes with this double pack figure here. And you can see the boots are different. This one's more, you know, textured, more leather looking material. That's because these boots are from the Technor version. And for some reason, they are different in the way they were made. And for people that don't know, the Technor boots, the Technor version of this Terminator was released before this one was. But I decided to use the Technor boots for this, not only because they were easy to find on the aftermarket, but like I said, this is battle damaged. And I thought if I have these shiny boots here, it would look out of place. So I thought, why not have these ones that look damaged? And as you can see, I'm pretty sure the undershirt, the actual grey shirt, this one, yeah, this one is the original Hot Toys one, while this shirt and pants are aftermarket. And the reason is because you can see there's much more blood differencing here. They differ in blood. And I will throw a reference up to the actual screen used one that for this scene. And yeah, it's drenched in blood. Okay, so this is the Technor version next to the Battle Damage T800. And these are just amazing figures based on the Terminator franchise, in my opinion. Especially the Technor one, that's very underrated compared to this one. People would say this is the definitive look, which I agree, but I think this is the definitive Arnold look for the 80s. You know, with the hair, with the long parted hair. You know, I also think the head sculpt has actually aged well, because it does look like Arnie, a much younger Arnie. And once again, these both have the same bodies, the World Box bodies. And even though they're from the same franchise, in the same movie, these two figures, they both stand out unique. Like, they're both completely different in appearances. Well, from the waist up. Going down here, obviously, they kind of have similarities. You know, they're pretty much the exact same. And also, a quick topic with the pants. This is the original Hot Toys cargos, and this is eBay cargos. Now, for some reason, this version of the Hot Toys cargos were different to the Battle Damage I just showed before. They're different coloring. This one's actually more accurate to the other figure, the Battle Damage, the cop shootout I showed, which I found a bit weird. And I think my headcanon is this is the clean look of the Terminator in the first movie, and progressively through the movie he gets to this stage. Basically a disgusting mess. So I think that's my excuse for the drastic change in the colorings. But yeah, this is a fantastic figure, this as well. And I thought I'll throw all my Terminator figures in this custom review that I'm doing. Just because I think this one, out of all my custom pieces, including all the other ones I showed, this is the most work I had to put through. You know, nothing big was done into this, it was just a body swap. And for people that don't like full plastic joints like this, and like the more Fison bodies, I think the only problem with the Fison bodies is I don't know how well you can slip these clothings on top, because it's thick rubber material that the Fison bodies have. So I would have no clue how you would get these. And these are pretty tight on this body too. These are bigger than Fison's, I'm pretty sure. So if they're tight on this, plus you got the added rubber, I wouldn't have a clue how you would put them on. And here's the last one I have. This is right after the Techno Club, where he basically gets his hair singed off, his eyebrows singed. And like this battle damage version, the Techno comes with 2 head sculpts. So you had the old one before with the longer hair, and now this one with the singed eyebrows and obviously the singed off hair. And this is a better look of what the actual body looks like underneath. So it does have exposed joints, but the positive is with a Fison or any other rubber body, you would not be able to pose it like this because it would just completely tear. And it's pretty much the same. These are both third-party clothing, aside from the leather jacket and the boots. And that's just a piece of fabric on the wrapping there that I've glued and made it look, you know, all grimy. And as you can see, he's got the knife there, or scalpel, ready to take out that eye to look like that, pretty much. So this is right before the police shootout. And yeah, for people that actually have the Hot Toys version with the body, you can see there's a drastic difference with the body I have here. This is much more accurate and bigger and bulkier compared to the Hot Toys version. And I just love the accessories as well that this has. You know, these are real metallic, real metal. And I just don't see Hot Toys doing this anymore. And yeah, that grenade comes with the figure that's glued on the base, and that revolver there is also part of the figure from this battle damage version. Okay guys, I think that's pretty much it for this figure, for this custom review overlook. And like I said before, this is 100% the most fun I've had customizing. You know, it was just so much detailing that I enjoyed doing on this piece. And like I said in my other video, my Alan Ripley video, in the future I'm going to show and record what I'm doing, so people can either follow along or, you know, just sit back, enjoy it and watch. And at the same time, I think it would be fun to video do it, then just do it off screen. So if you guys do enjoy, you know, just watching people customize stuff, I'm 100% going to be doing that, rather than just showing it like this. So be on the lookout. I've got a handful of stuff actually that I want to customize and I want to show. So if you guys do enjoy this, make sure you like, sub if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, time for some shit.